Today I'm going to be reviewing this Syma X200 foldable drone that was recently sent to me by the brand to create a video on. So I'm going to open it up and let me show you exactly what you're going to get inside. So you're going to get an instructional booklet. You're also going to get this, which I assume is the charger itself. I'm going to open that up. Yep, going to have the battery and the charger and thing inside of there. And then you actually are going to get the drone as well. Now, that is super nice that this Syma is actually going to come with a carrying case as well. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and pop that open here. That way you can see that. Kind of sticking there. Not a fan of that. There you go. So you can actually see it is actually clear here on the top. So it actually is going to come inside this cool little case that you can see here. Now this is going to be a relatively small drone. I will have to, of course, cut those off. And then it is foldable. So all of these arms are going to fold in. So this is going to be a really, really small drone. Smaller than I expected it to be, actually. So I'll get to the exact dimensions here in a minute. But as you can see, it is really, really tiny. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. And then it looks like this is going to actually be the controller as well. So that's cool that it also holds the drone and is the controller too. Let me cut this off and let me show you exactly how it works. So inside of that little plastic bag, there are going to be some extra propellers, which is nice. Going to come with this charger, a few extra screws, and then a screwdriver. Now this charger, I'm not a huge fan of how they actually designed this charger to charge this. You can see there it's got little tiny itty bitty pins. Now it does charge into there, but again, I feel like you're going to bend these pins. I wish it would have just been an easy one, just like a single one that you can easily put in and out and don't have to worry about bending those pins. It is nice that it's one solid thing inside of there to put it in, but I feel like, man, that's kind of a little bit on the fragile side. So not a huge fan of that charging option here on this drone. Now this actually does require batteries and they're not included. And it does take two AAA batteries. And you're just going to put it on the back of the controller here. So it just has a little cover that has a little screw. You're just going to use the orange screwdriver that's included to take that off, slide that out, and then you're just going to put two AAA batteries in here. Now to pair the drone and the controller, you're just going to push the button here to turn on the controller. And then you're going to push the button here on top to turn this on, and it will flash like that. To get it to pair, you're just going to push up and down on the controller. All of these Syma products all tend to do this same thing. And then to take off, then you're just going to push up on the controller to push up. I believe it is also going to have an automatic takeoff function. Let me go ahead and see. Yep, there we go. Now, as you can see there, it did not fly straight at all. So you are going to have to calibrate this or trim it, as they call it, when it comes straight out of the box. So that is a downside to this. I'm not a fan of them needing calibration straight from the manufacturer. So that is going to be a pretty big downside, at least in my opinion. It immediately took off from here, flew over there into the wall, and then flew over into almost into the TV as well. So I'm not a fan of that. I would prefer if it would already be semi-calibrated when you first get it. So this button here is actually going to be the button that's automatically going to take it off. Now this is designed for indoor use. I'm actually going to probably be using this outside just so I don't accidentally bust up a TV, something like that. But I do have a lot of green grass, and so don't have to worry about it getting caught in trees or anything like that. So it has a lot of basic functions to it. Not a fan of the controller on this one either. I feel like it's really, really boxy, really hard to hold on to. And then also because of where the controller is at, like this screen almost really makes it feel like even less easy to hold. So I'm not a fan of that at all. So overall, the drone itself is pretty cool. It is foldable, so you can adjust that. You can see one of these actually, when it ran into the wall, kind of popped a little bit, so you just have to push it back. And then you can fully fold it up as well. So you can fold in all of those to make it extremely small. But not, man, I really, really wish that it would come calibrated as is. Otherwise, you purchase it, give it to somebody, they're going to have to actually calibrate it before you use it. So big downside to the controller, not a fan of how that feels, how hard it's going to be to hold for long periods of time, and also not a fan of it coming not calibrated also. So that's my review of this Syma drone. This is the X200.